Listen closely because this is the moment where everything changes. You've been pushed aside, overlooked, and disrespected by people who don't see your worth. And you know what? That's not your failure, that's their blindness. Too many of us wait for permission, validation, or acknowledgement from people who are incapable of giving it. But here's the truth: respect isn't something you beg for. It's something you command by the energy you bring, the confidence you carry, and the standards you refuse to compromise. Every insult, every slight, every moment they tried to make you feel small is fuel to ignite a fire inside you that no one can extinguish. You have the power to rise above their opinions. When they speak over you, don't just stay silent. Let your actions speak louder than their words ever could. Show them through your results, your integrity, and your unstoppable momentum that their disrespect is meaningless in the face of your greatness. Don't waste a second being bitter. That's wasted energy. Instead, transform their negative energy into motivation, into relentless action, into proof that you are untouchable by small minds. Remember this: the world is full of people who underestimate you, who try to put limits on your potential because they are too afraid to confront their own. But the moment you embrace your worth, the moment you stop seeking their approval, the moment you refuse to let anyone define your value, you step into a power that cannot be ignored. They can mock, they can belittle, but they cannot stop a person who knows exactly who they are and refuses to settle for anything less than extraordinary. So stand tall, speak your truth, take up space, and move with relentless confidence. The disrespect you've endured is nothing but the prelude to your rise. Every challenge, every insult, every eye roll, they are nothing more than signposts pointing to the life you are about to claim. And when you finally reach your peak, when your success is undeniable, when your presence fills the room, you'll look back and smile because every ounce of disrespect will have fueled your unstoppable journey. You are not here to be small. You are here to dominate, to inspire, and to show the world that respect is earned, not given, and you will earn it in every single moment you refuse to be anything less than extraordinary. Listen carefully because this is the core of your power. Your worth is not determined by anyone else. Too many people allow the opinions of others to shape their reality, to define their value, to dictate how they feel about themselves. But here's the truth: respect, honor, and self-worth begin within. When someone disrespects you, it is not a reflection of your abilities, your intelligence, or your character. It is a reflection of their ignorance, their limitations, and their inability to see the greatness in others. You cannot control how others behave. You cannot control what they say, but you can control how you respond, how you think, and how you carry yourself in the face of their disrespect. Imagine for a moment that every negative word, every insult, every belittling glance is a test of whether you will let someone else's perception define your value. Most people fail this test because they internalize it, they let it seep into their mind, and suddenly they are living a life built on the opinions of others. That is not your life. You are not here to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be. You are here to define your own path, to command your own destiny, to know without a shadow of doubt that your worth is unshakable. When someone disrespects you, it's an invitation to rise. It's an opportunity to demonstrate self-respect, to hold your head high, and to continue moving forward without hesitation. The moment you accept that your value comes from within, that no external approval is required, you become unstoppable. You no longer chase validation, you no longer bend to the judgments of others, and you no longer allow small-minded opinions to influence your energy. Respecting yourself becomes a statement, a declaration that you are untouchable by negativity and immune to disrespect. Your life transforms when you internalize this truth. Doors open, opportunities multiply, and people who try to put you down are exposed as insignificant distractions. They will attempt to diminish you, to pull you into their shallow world of criticism, but you are above that. You are stronger than their words, greater than their limitations, and more powerful than any attempt to define you. So take a deep breath, hold your head high, and own your worth. know it, feel it, live it. Because when you finally embrace that your value is inherent, unwavering, and unshakable, disrespect loses all power, and you step into the life you were always meant to claim. Let's dive into this truth. Every moment someone disrespects you, every insult, every slight, every belittling comment, they are not the end of your story. They are the spark for your rise. Too many people let disrespect define them, letting it plant seeds of doubt, fear, and anger that grow into weakness. But what if I told you that disrespect is not a weapon against you? It is fuel for your transformation. Every time someone tries to put you down, every time they underestimate your power, they are handing you the energy you need to rise higher, to become stronger, to prove not to them, but to yourself that you are unstoppable. Think about it. The world is full of people who will try to diminish your light, who will try to silence your voice, who will attempt to convince you that you are less than you truly are. And if you let it, their negativity can crush your spirit. But if you flip the switch, if you take that disrespect and turn it into a challenge, it becomes one of the most powerful tools in your life. That insult becomes motivation, that eye roll becomes determination, that criticism becomes a roadmap for your success. You begin to see every disrespectful act not as a personal attack, but as an opportunity to rise above mediocrity and step into your greatness. The most powerful people in history, the most successful and influential leaders, never waited for others to respect them. They created respect through action, through results, through relentless pursuit of their vision. And every obstacle, every person who tried to block them became fuel. Disrespect is the fire that forges the strongest steel. It forces you to dig deeper, to fight harder, and to elevate yourself beyond what anyone thought possible. When you internalize this, you stop being a victim of others' words and start being the architect of your own destiny. So the next time someone disrespects you, don't shrink, don't lash out, and don't allow their ignorance to cloud your mind. Stand taller, move faster, and push harder. Let that moment of disrespect ignite a level of focus, discipline, and determination that cannot be stopped. Every insult, every slight, every act of belittlement becomes a stepping stone to the extraordinary life you are meant to live. Remember, it's not about proving them wrong, it's about proving to yourself that their disrespect has no power over your destiny. When you harness this energy, disrespect transforms from an obstacle into a supercharger for your success, and you become absolutely unstoppable. Every time someone disrespects you, every harsh word, every dismissive glance, every moment they try to make you feel small, it is not the universe punishing you. It is a signal, a spark, a call to rise. Disrespect is not meant to break you, it is meant to reveal your power. Too often, people let these moments sink in, letting anger, frustration, or sadness take root in their hearts. But here's the truth: that energy, the same energy that others try to use to diminish you, can be transformed into unstoppable fuel for your growth, your ambition, and your success. Every insult, every attempt to make you feel unworthy, every sneer is a challenge. Will you let it define you, or will you use it to propel yourself to a higher level? Think about the most successful people in the world, the athletes, the leaders, the innovators, the creators who dominate their fields. Do you think they avoided disrespect? No. They were underestimated, criticized, laughed at, and often ignored. But they learned something crucial. Disrespect only has power if you give it power. When you take every negative word thrown at you and turn it into energy, determination, and action, you become unstoppable. Every slight becomes a stepping stone, every doubt cast upon you becomes fuel for your ambition, and every act of disrespect becomes a test of your resilience. You see, the moment you internalize this, you stop being a victim of circumstance or opinion. You stop reacting emotionally to small-mindedness. You begin to live in a higher state, focused, energized, unshakable. Disrespect transforms from a weight that drags you down into a fire that drives you forward. It forces you to dig deeper, to fight harder, and to push further than you ever thought possible. It awakens a hunger for excellence that nothing and no one can extinguish. So the next time someone tries to belittle you, step back and see the opportunity. Feel the energy rising in your chest. Let it fuel your actions, sharpen your focus, and ignite your determination. Disrespect is not an end. It is a beginning, a signal that you are moving in the right direction, that you are creating waves they cannot understand. And when you finally rise above, when your results, your presence, and your power become undeniable, you will look back and realize that every insult, every act of disrespect, every moment they tried to hold you down was actually lifting you up. It was the universe's way of preparing you for a life of extraordinary impact, unshakable confidence, and undeniable greatness. Respect is not something you wait for. It is something you command. When others try to disrespect you, when they underestimate your abilities or dismiss your presence, the key is not to shrink, argue, or beg for acknowledgement. The key is to rise with unwavering confidence and let your energy, your actions, and your results speak louder than any words ever could. True respect is earned, not given, and the moment you understand that, you step into a power that is untouchable. Confidence is magnetic, and it communicates to the world that you are not here to be anyone's second choice, that you are not defined by their opinions, and that no one has the authority to diminish your value. When you move through life with this kind of energy, you command attention, you demand recognition, and you create a presence that cannot be ignored. Think about it. People respect what they see, what they feel, and what they cannot take away. And what you produce, the work you do, the results you achieve, the integrity you carry becomes your declaration to the world. Every accomplishment, every step forward, every act of courage communicates a simple truth. You are powerful, you are capable, and you are unstoppable. When others disrespect you, it is a reflection of their own insecurities, their inability to recognize greatness, and their fear of someone rising above them. By remaining focused, by doubling down on your efforts, and by showing up with relentless energy, you demonstrate to them that disrespect has no hold over you. Commanding respect is about presence, discipline, and consistent action. It is about refusing to let anyone's opinion dictate your self-worth. It is about walking into every room, every conversation, and every challenge knowing exactly who you are and what you bring. The moment you embrace this mindset, disrespect becomes irrelevant. Their words, their judgments, and their attempts to belittle you bounce off, powerless against your unwavering confidence. Your actions, your results, and your energy create an undeniable aura of authority and influence. People may try to test you, to push you down, to take away your space, but when you move with confidence and produce results, they are forced to respect you whether they like it or not. So rise above their attempts to undermine you. Speak through your actions. Move with relentless confidence. Let your work, your discipline, and your energy command the respect that words cannot buy. Every step you take, every victory you achieve, and every boundary you enforce becomes a living testament to the truth. Respect is earned, and when you refuse to compromise your worth, it is impossible to deny. One of the most powerful lessons you can learn when facing disrespect is this: stop seeking approval from small minds. Far too often, people allow the judgments, criticisms, and opinions of others to shape their lives, to dictate their decisions, and to limit their potential. But the truth is, not everyone is capable of understanding your vision, your passion, or your drive. People who disrespect you are often trapped in their own fear, their own mediocrity, and their own insecurities. They try to pull you into their limited world because they are afraid to witness someone rise beyond them. And if you let them, you will spend your entire life chasing approval that will never come. The moment you understand that their validation is not required, your power multiplies exponentially. You no longer ask for permission to be great, you simply claim it. When you stop seeking approval, you stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. You stop apologizing for your ambition, your confidence, or your success. You refuse to bend your principles to gain favor or acceptance. This is where true freedom begins. The freedom to move through the world on your own terms, to define your own success, and to pursue your goals without hesitation or compromise. People will try to undermine you, belittle you, or dismiss your efforts, but their opinions are irrelevant when you are grounded in the certainty of your own value. The more you seek validation from them, the more you give away your power. The moment you stop chasing approval, you reclaim that power and step into a level of confidence that cannot be shaken. Think about the leaders, innovators, and creators who have left their mark on the world. Do you think they waited for everyone to cheer them on? Do you think they waited for permission to follow their dreams? No. They ignored the noise, they silenced the doubters, and they focused entirely on their vision. They understood that the opinions of small minds are meaningless compared to the magnitude of their potential. And that is the mindset you must embrace when facing disrespect. Every time someone tries to diminish you, remind yourself that their opinion is not a measure of your worth. It is simply a reflection of their limitations. So rise above the need for approval. Stand tall in your authenticity. Pursue your goals relentlessly. Speak your truth unapologetically and act with unwavering confidence. The moment you free yourself from the trap of seeking validation, disrespect loses all its power. You begin to operate at a higher level, guided only by your own standards, your own vision, and your own commitment to greatness. And that is when the world finally takes notice, not because you begged for respect, but because you earned it through unstoppable action and unshakable self-belief. One of the most powerful lessons you can ever learn when facing disrespect is this: stop seeking approval from small minds. Far too many people allow the opinions, criticisms, and judgments of others to control their actions, shape their decisions, and define their self-worth. They bend, they compromise, and they shrink themselves, hoping to be accepted by people who have no vision of their potential. But the harsh reality is this: not everyone is capable of understanding your greatness, your ambition, or your drive. People who disrespect you, belittle you, or try to make you feel small are often trapped in their own fear, insecurities, and limitations. They are projecting their doubts, their failures, and their mediocrity onto you. And if you let them, you will spend your life seeking validation that will never come. The moment you fully grasp that their approval is not required, you step into a power that cannot be shaken. You no longer ask permission to be great, you claim it. When you stop seeking approval, you stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. You stop dimming your light to fit into their narrow expectations. You stop apologizing for your ambition, your success, or your voice. And that is where true freedom begins. The freedom to move through life on your own terms, to define your own success, and to pursue your goals without hesitation, doubt, or compromise. People will continue to try to undermine you, to belittle you, to dismiss your efforts, but their opinions are meaningless when you are anchored in the certainty of your own value. Every moment you seek validation from them, you give away your power. The moment you stop, you reclaim that power and you step into a level of confidence and self-respect that cannot be shaken by insults, criticism, or judgment. Look at the most influential leaders, creators, and innovators who have changed the world. Do you think they waited for everyone to cheer them on? Do you think they paused, hoping for approval from people who couldn't see their vision? No. They ignored the noise, they silenced the doubters, and they remained relentlessly focused on their own mission. They understood that small-minded opinions are irrelevant compared to the magnitude of their potential, and that is the mindset you must embrace when facing disrespect. Every insult, every attempt to diminish you, every eye roll or whisper of doubt is simply a reflection of someone else's limitations, not a reflection of your worth. So rise above the need for approval. Stand tall in your authenticity. Speak your truth unapologetically. Pursue your goals with unrelenting energy and action. Let every attempt to belittle you fuel your drive rather than drain it. The moment you free yourself from the trap of seeking validation, disrespect loses all power over you. You begin to operate at a higher level, guided solely by your standards, your vision, and your unshakable commitment to greatness. And that is when the world truly notices. Not because you begged for respect, but because you commanded it through your actions, your energy, and your unstoppable presence. Every moment of disrespect, every insult, every attempt to belittle you carries hidden power, but only if you know how to use it. Negative energy from others can either break you or build you, depending on how you respond. Far too many people allow the words and actions of others to steal their confidence, to drain their energy, and to keep them small. But the most successful, powerful, and unstoppable individuals in the world have learned the secret. Negativity and disrespect are not obstacles, they are fuel. Every time someone doubts you, underestimates you, or tries to disrespect you, they are giving you an opportunity to rise, to prove not to them, but to yourself, that their opinion does not define your potential. Disrespect becomes your springboard, your fire, your motivation to achieve more than you ever thought possible. Imagine if every insult you've endured, every slight and every act of disrespect became energy that propelled you forward instead of holding you back. The very moments that were meant to break your spirit can transform into moments that forge your resilience, your determination, and your courage. It is in the face of disrespect that your true character is revealed. Will you crumble or will you rise higher? Will you let their words control your emotions or will you use their negativity to fuel relentless action? When you choose the latter, you step into a level of power that cannot be shaken, a level of focus that cannot be distracted, and a level of drive that cannot be stopped. Think about the great achievers, the leaders, the athletes, and the entrepreneurs who dominate their fields. None of them avoided disrespect. They were mocked, belittled, and doubted at every turn. But they understood a critical truth. Disrespect only has power if you give it power. Instead of reacting emotionally, they used it strategically. Every negative comment became a challenge, every attempt to put them down became a spark, and every doubter became a source of motivation. Their success was not in spite of the disrespect. They succeeded because they harnessed it, transformed it, and turned it into fuel for unstoppable action. You have that same power within you. You can choose to let disrespect define you, or you can choose to let it drive you to heights others cannot even imagine. Every insult, every slight, and every attempt to diminish you can become a tool for your growth, a test of your resilience, and a catalyst for your greatness. The moment you shift your perspective and use disrespect as fuel, nothing in the world can stop you. You rise above the petty negativity, you move with unstoppable momentum, and you show the world through your actions, results, and energy that no one has the authority to diminish your greatness. Bitterness is a trap, a weight that keeps you small, and it is one of the most dangerous responses to disrespect. When someone disrespects you, it's natural to feel hurt, frustrated, or angry, but holding on to that negativity only gives them power over your life. Most people spend years carrying grudges, replaying insults in their minds, and letting resentment dictate their actions. But every second you live in bitterness is energy stolen from your own greatness. True strength comes from refusing to let disrespect define your mood, your decisions, or your path. You must rise above the emotional pull of their small-mindedness and focus on what truly matters: your growth, your goals, and your success. Disrespect is not an obstacle. It is an invitation to transcend. The moment you choose to let go of bitterness, you reclaim your energy and your power. You become untouchable by the opinions and actions of others. Holding on to anger or resentment is like carrying a heavy weight that slows your progress, blurs your vision, and keeps you tied to the very people who tried to hold you down. But when you release it, when you refuse to let bitterness fester, you free yourself to move faster, act bolder, and rise higher than ever before. Every insult, every slight, every act of disrespect becomes irrelevant because your focus is no longer on them. It is on your own path to greatness. Consider the most successful people in history, the leaders, the innovators, the game changers. They did not waste energy being bitter about those who doubted them or disrespected them. Instead, they used those experiences to sharpen their focus, to drive them toward extraordinary action, and to fuel their unstoppable momentum. They understood that bitterness is a prison, but forgiveness, detachment, and focus are keys to freedom. The more you can detach from the negative energy of others, the more your life fills with purpose, clarity, and unstoppable momentum. So when someone disrespects you, resist the urge to retaliate, resist the urge to stew in resentment, and resist the temptation to let their actions control your emotions. Let go of bitterness and redirect that energy into building yourself, improving your skills, and moving closer to the life you deserve. Every moment you release negativity, you step further into empowerment. Disrespect no longer has control over you. It becomes a stepping stone, a teacher, and a motivator. Your greatness is too important to waste on bitterness, and your future is too bright to let the small-mindedness of others dim your light. When you rise above resentment, you rise above them all, unstoppable, unshakable, and undeniably powerful. Taking up space and speaking your truth is one of the most powerful ways to respond to disrespect. Too many people shrink themselves in the presence of others' negativity, hoping to avoid conflict or hoping to gain approval. They dim their light, silence their voice, and hide their power because they fear judgment. But here's the truth: the world respects those who refuse to be small, who refuse to apologize for their presence, and who stand firm in their authenticity. When someone disrespects you, they are trying to test your boundaries to see if you will allow them to diminish your voice or take your space. The moment you assert yourself, the moment you refuse to shrink, you send a clear message. You will not be ignored, you will not be dismissed, and you will not be defined by their opinions. Speaking your truth is not about arguing or proving them wrong. It is about owning your voice and your presence unapologetically. When you move through the world with confidence, clarity, and courage, people begin to take notice. They may not understand your journey, your vision, or your purpose, but they cannot ignore the energy and power of someone who refuses to be small. Your authenticity becomes a magnet, drawing opportunities, allies, and respect toward you. Every time you assert yourself with integrity, every time you communicate your truth with confidence, you reinforce your value, not just in the eyes of others, but in your own mind. Respect begins with self-acknowledgement, and when you embrace it fully, no one's disrespect can shake you. Consider this: those who have changed the world, those who have left an indelible mark, did not wait for permission to speak their truth or occupy their space. They were often mocked, underestimated, or disrespected, but they refused to let the opinions of others dictate their actions. They took up space boldly, moved with purpose, and spoke with unwavering confidence. And in doing so, they created momentum, influence, and undeniable authority. Disrespect no longer had the power to control them because they had fully embraced their own worth and refused to be silenced. So when someone tries to diminish you, take a deep breath, stand tall, and step into your presence fully. Speak your truth with courage, act with clarity, and occupy every space you deserve without apology. Let every attempt to disrespect you become an opportunity to showcase your confidence and power. The world responds to those who refuse to hide, and when you claim your voice and your space, you create influence, demand respect, and inspire others to do the same. You are not here to shrink, you are here to dominate, to shine, and to show that your presence is non-negotiable, undeniable, and unstoppable. Taking up space and speaking your truth is one of the most powerful ways to respond to disrespect. Far too often, people allow the opinions, judgments, or negativity of others to shrink them, to silence their voice, and to make them feel small. They hide their power, dim their light, and compromise their presence because they fear rejection or conflict. But here's the undeniable truth: the world respects those who refuse to be small, those who refuse to apologize for existing, and those who assert their presence unapologetically. When someone disrespects you, they are testing your boundaries. They want to see if you will cower, if you will give them permission to diminish your energy, your confidence, or your voice. The moment you stand tall and refuse to shrink, you send a powerful message. You will not be ignored, dismissed, or defined by anyone's opinion. Speaking your truth is not about confrontation or proving someone wrong. It is about owning your voice with courage and integrity. It is about declaring to the world that your presence matters, your perspective matters, and your vision matters. Every time you speak boldly, every time you take up space without apology, you reinforce your value, not just in the eyes of others, but in your own mind. Confidence is magnetic, and it communicates strength. People notice energy. They feel presence. When you refuse to be small, when you refuse to back down, you command attention and create respect naturally. The more authentically you live and express yourself, the less power disrespect has over you. Think about the great leaders, creators, and change makers in history. Do you think they waited for approval before stepping into their greatness? Do you think they hesitated to claim their space because of others' opinions? Absolutely not. They were often mocked, underestimated, and even disrespected, but they refused to let it define them. They spoke their truth boldly, acted decisively, and moved through the world with relentless confidence. And because they refused to shrink, they created influence, momentum, and undeniable authority. Disrespect bounced off them because they had anchored themselves in self-worth and purpose. So, when someone attempts to diminish you, take a deep breath, square your shoulders, and fully occupy your space. Speak your truth with courage, act decisively with confidence, and let every attempt at disrespect fuel your determination rather than drain it. Remember, you are not here to shrink, to hide, or to apologize for existing. You are here to shine, to dominate, and to lead with authenticity. Every space you claim, every word you speak, every boundary you enforce becomes a testament to your power, and the world cannot ignore it. Disrespect loses its hold over you when you fully embrace your voice, your presence, and your truth. Stand tall, move with confidence, and let your life itself become proof that you are unstoppable, undeniable, and unshakable. Success is the ultimate response to disrespect. When someone tries to belittle you, mock you, or make you feel small, their words are temporary, but your actions can be permanent. Too many people get caught up in arguments, explanations, or retaliation, thinking that defending themselves will earn respect. But respect is never demanded, it is earned. And the most powerful way to respond to disrespect is through your results. When you focus on building your skills, achieving your goals, and excelling in every area of your life, you create an unshakable presence that cannot be ignored. Disrespect becomes meaningless because your success speaks for itself. People may doubt you, criticize you, or try to put you down, but your achievements will always outshine their opinions. Think about the greatest leaders, athletes, and innovators, those who changed the world, broke records, and redefined industries. Did they waste time trying to explain themselves to every critic or respond to every disrespectful comment? No. They channeled that energy into action. They understood that the fastest, strongest, and most undeniable form of response is consistent excellence. Every moment spent in bitterness or argument is a moment stolen from your potential. When you take the energy from disrespect and turn it into focus, determination, and results, you command respect naturally. You don't need to shout, argue, or prove anyone wrong. Your life becomes the proof. Success in the face of disrespect is also about mindset. It's about recognizing that anyone who tries to diminish you is limited in vision, limited in understanding, and limited in their ability to see your potential. Their negativity is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their own limitations. When you focus on your mission, your growth, and your purpose, their words cannot penetrate your resolve. Every goal you achieve, every boundary you enforce, every step forward is a living testament to your value, and it cannot be denied. So, when someone disrespects you, stop reacting emotionally and start responding strategically. Pour your energy into your craft, your vision, and your success. Let your results become the loudest, clearest, and most undeniable response. Disrespect will fade into insignificance as your accomplishments speak volumes. Success is not just a goal, it is a weapon, a declaration, and a statement to the world that you are unstoppable. When you rise, achieve, and dominate in every area of your life, You show the world that respect is not given lightly. It is earned, and you will earn it through relentless action, unwavering focus, and unstoppable momentum. Every challenge, every insult, every act of disrespect is not a setback. It is a signpost pointing you toward growth and opportunity. Too many people view disrespect as a roadblock, a reason to stop, or a reason to doubt themselves. But the truth is that life is constantly testing you, not to break you, but to build you. Disrespect is one of the universe's ways of saying, you are meant for more. Step up, rise above, claim your power. Each slight, each belittling comment, and each attempt to diminish your presence is not an attack. It is a lesson, a challenge, and a reminder that your potential is greater than what others can see or understand. When you recognize this, every negative encounter becomes a catalyst for your transformation rather than a wound to your spirit. The world is full of small-minded individuals who will try to hold you down, who will underestimate your abilities, and who will attempt to diminish your light. But the most powerful people on this planet, the leaders, the innovators, the champions, learn to interpret disrespect differently. They didn't allow it to define them, they allowed it to refine them. Each time someone doubted them, criticized them, or tried to hold them back, they asked themselves, how can I use this moment to grow, to rise, and to prove to myself that nothing can stop me? That mindset turns challenges into opportunities, negativity into energy, and disrespect into fuel. It transforms obstacles into stepping stones on the path to extraordinary achievement. Think about it. Every time someone tries to disrespect you, it is a test of your resilience, a test of your focus, and a test of your determination. You can either fall into the trap of bitterness and resentment, wasting your energy and giving them control, or you can rise above, use it as a guidepost, and move forward with relentless momentum. Every act of disrespect becomes a reminder of the life you are meant to claim, the success you are meant to achieve, and the legacy you are destined to leave behind. It becomes a signal that you are on the right path, that your vision is greater than their understanding, and that your power is growing stronger with every challenge you face. So when someone tries to belittle you, underestimate you, or disrespect you, don't shrink. Don't fight them with anger or words. Instead, see it as a signpost, a signal that your next breakthrough, your next victory, and your next level of greatness is just ahead. Let disrespect guide you, motivate you, and ignite your fire. Every challenge is pointing you to your purpose, and every slight is pushing you to rise higher, move faster, and achieve more than you ever thought possible. The disrespect you face is not your enemy. It is your fuel, your compass, and your call to rise above and dominate your destiny. Refusing to settle for anything less than extraordinary is the ultimate response to disrespect. When people try to belittle you, undermine you, or make you feel small, it is easy to shrink, to accept mediocrity, or to let their negativity define your life. But greatness does not come from accommodation or compromise. Greatness comes from refusing to accept less than your full potential, from standing tall in your vision, and from committing to a standard of excellence that cannot be shaken by small-minded opinions. Every disrespectful act, every criticism, and every attempt to diminish you is a test, not of your failure, but of your commitment to rise above, to dominate your path, and to live at a level that demands respect. When you refuse to settle, you declare to the world, and more importantly to yourself, that your life will not be dictated by anyone else's limitations. You are not here to be ordinary, to blend into the crowd, or to seek permission to exist. You are here to achieve, to lead, and to create a life of extraordinary impact. And the people who try to disrespect you are simply witnesses to your journey, incapable of seeing the heights you are meant to reach. Their negativity becomes irrelevant when you focus relentlessly on your vision, pursue excellence with relentless discipline, and hold yourself to a standard that no one else can define. Think about those who have left a mark on the world, the innovators, the leaders, the legends. They were disrespected, underestimated, and often mocked, but they refused to settle. They refused to compromise their ambition, their standards, or their pursuit of greatness. Every insult, every slight, and every attempt to hold them back became motivation to achieve more, to rise higher, and to dominate in ways that silenced their critics without words. Their refusal to settle transformed disrespect into fuel, criticism into clarity, and challenges into stepping stones toward extraordinary achievement.